G'day guys. I said I was going to modify that figure 8 coil so it would be a lot less noisy. I've done that and I have it connected up to AA's 6000. If you notice on the screen, I've got it cranked right up. It absolutely, I don't want to go into silent mode, but no, totally silent, but I can go a notch back and it'll be in full manual. But I've just got it one notch up, quiet as a mouse. Works beautifully. But the thing you've got to be, or should I say, take into account up here is I'm just going to show you something. When I've been saying this for bloody years, but no one ever listens. Well, very few. Okay, these things, these ferrite cores, and you see where that's come out of. Can you hear that? No, she's hollow. You can't ground balance it out. Not in a million years. Okay? So this has got me really, really perplexed. Okay. Now, give you an idea. This detector, by the way, is modified. It's completely been redone. And yeah, it's probably why it's so quiet. But anyway, 0.05 on the cancel. It's nearly as sensitive as one of my modified 45s. Take it up a little bit. I know I'm bouncing it. Okay, I'll go across. Should measure that, shouldn't I? We've got a little bit of height difference here in the ring. Splinter, ouch. Hang on a sec. Okay, ring can go up there. Oh my god. Yeah, where'd that happen? Yeah, the bit of wood, a bit came off the side there. Oh, there it is, and stuck in my hand. So anyway, let's see how far we get. This is all important stuff, guys. I'm going to show you some really interesting stuff. Now, you notice I've reconfigured the coil so the feed point's in the middle. That means it will be quieter. It's more balanced. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. 6, around 6 centimeters. On the my GPX, I can get up around 7s, 8s. Have a look at my old videos anyway. That's on the 0.05. We can try tiny gold. Remember, on a lot of stuff I'm doing tests, I'm using the bigger figure 8 coil too. And yeah, this should be more sensitive. Yeah, nice and quiet, isn't it? I can't find my small target. Where has it gone? I'm trying to find a very, very small one. No, bad luck. It's taken a walk. Anyway, I'm going to show you something now. This is going to, yeah, I just noticed that some of the Chinese manufacturers have been, have joined up on my Facebook. So all the Chinese manufacturers now are members on, sorry, not on Facebook. Well, they're probably on Facebook as well, but they're on the YouTube channel. I've seen their logos turn up. So yeah, all written in Chinese, of course. So they're going to be wanting to see what goes on with all this stuff so they can make knockoff coils. But that's the nature of the world. Okay, what I've done here, I'll show you something. Okay, I'm going to get behind the camera so I can make sure I'm showing you. That's a ball of solder. Okay, it's hard for me to hold. If I grab it in tweezers, it'll pop out and go across the floor. Actually, I'll try it. These tweezers have bitey things on it, so okay, don't you dare fly out. Okay, I've got it in tweezers, so you can have a good look at that. Put on the wood. There you go. See that? That's how big it is. Don't want the tweezers now. Now that piece of solder, listen, say that was a join in your coil. So it's in your coil and your windings are loose. We'll put it right near the wire. Oh, I won't do that. But say it was in the coil, like so, and the windings were loose. Right, the detector goes completely bonkers because that moves around. You don't want stuff like that happening. Now, you've seen everyone who starts putting ferrite in their cores. Kalgoorlie hot rock. I've already tracked these out, by the way. Nothing. Unless you go right round like that, it'll make a noise, but it's just riding there a little bit. Oh, there's another one. There you go. We've got too much ferrite and everything sitting near the core. Hang on. I'll just do that. I'll see if I can. Oh, God. Where I've got the camera and where I've got this, I can't really do much of a ground balance. I'll try. There you go. It's gone. So I completely choose Kalgoorlie hot rocks up. Now I can't grab it. What happens if you haven't got big long fingernails? Anyway, I've got it again, a little bit of solder, okay? And like I say, everyone from day dot's been putting things like those in coils. You've seen them in my previous videos. Okay, what if I have a little yellow and white core? Iron powder, it's a carbonyl type. Don't know if you can see that. I got I'll tip it up a little bit. There you go. In the bottom under my finger there, I've got the solder in there. So I'll grab it, right? Oh, where's the solder? Oh, not there no more. Hang on, watch this. Okay, there's the biggest trade secret out that no one uses. There's the solder. Let's put it in a big core, as long as it's an iron type core. There's lots and lots of grades of this stuff. So it's in there. I'll tip it out when I do the test. So it's in there, right? So this is what you do. You get little long ones of these. Or if they don't exist, make them. Put your wires or your join wires in these because they're very akin to the hot ground anyway. So you don't have ground balance offsets. It's in there. That is too large for that tiny little joint. You want something closer. That's more that size. You don't need big ones. So first of all, the other thing too, there it goes on the floor. I hope you guys take notice of this. This is absolutely important to improve coils so you can hear targets properly, not being obscured with ground balance offsets and funny things like that. The detector is probably, I'll put that there, don't roll away. The detector's probably trying to get rid of that and trying to get rid of that at the same time. Now, when you have the ground, that's in there. Okay, what happens? Let's put that in there, whatever. What happens if you get the grounds coming over? Oh, ground balance offset. Oh, shock horror. I've got massive response to clays and all sorts of ironstones. Get rid of that. Oh, not there no more. You can hear targets more clearly. Okay, let's get this, throw that in there, right? So that's the thing, gets rid of that sort of stuff, all difference. Okay, so there's no ground balance offset. This is why I cannot work out. This has not been done for years. Every call I've seen that anyone's doing this, I don't know why they put these bloody high frequency ferrites in there. It's got me bamboozled why they do that. You go the wrong way, and I've always said that. I've been actually saying it for probably about 12 to 14 years, but anyway. Also, on bipolar detectors, you can probably get away with that a little bit more on a 7000 because these, being very high permeability in the way they're made, need a reset. They need the positive and then a negative field to give it well, basically in the atomic structure of the thing, and it's a reset mechanism so they don't saturate. Iron powder cores don't give us stuff. You can put huge amounts of DC through it, doesn't care. Within reason. That there, you can probably put 500 watts through it, won't care less. So this is how you get rid of your solder joints in your coils. Okay? So I keep seeing ferrite used everywhere. I just go and shake my head. That's why with this dongle thing in the ferrite box, first thing I did was just broke it to pieces, because what I'll do, I'll get something like that and one of these cores, and I'll just put two of these cores together and stick it in the two cores, not there no more. So, because I've offset all the ground balances and everything now, but yeah, it's a big core, and we'll stick it in the little core again, if I can pick it up. So experiment, guys. It's not there. So you're not going to get a ground interaction. You never hot rock and that, you know. Ground balance on the detector's probably wobbled off, but you know, this is important stuff, and all the manufacturers out there should take note. Even some of the Chinese people looking, because I know you are. Yeah. So there. Oh. So there you go. So when you make coils too, you want to know what to make your coils out of? Say you have some wire like this, and you go, oh, could I make it? It's pretty thin. Could I make some wire, a coil out of this wire? If I had a lot of it, like 30 meters of it or something or other, first of all, get your wire and do this. Oh, it doesn't sound off, no problem. You can make a coil out of that. Anything that sounds off, do not use, right? Do not use that. Okay, there's lots of other cores. You know, we've got some of these little black things here. Don't use that. Bit bigger. That one's okay because it's a different grade. There's a mixture of these. Some of these are iron and various mixes of iron and other additives. They can put a lot of different stuff in these things. They usually hydrogen reduce the iron. They're called carbonyl iron cores. So you get put a little bit of solder in there, right there. So you can get some of these, and I've got drawers of these anyway, and I have to work out what they are. The way to work out what they are, put a couple of turns around it, say five or 10 turns or whatever, stick it on a LCR bridge, measure the inductance. Also, if your multimeter, scratch into it and measure about 1 centimeter and see what the resistance is. It'll tell you what sort of ferrite it is, or if it's an iron type thing. The other way of telling too, stick a magnet on it. You can tell by magnetic pull on these. Now let's get my, got stuff all over it. These magnets will, you know, stick to anything. So that's got a hell of a lot of pull. It's a lot of iron in that. Iron. And Screaming Meanie over here probably has iron in it as well. Well, they are ferromagnetic, so it doesn't have as much pull as as they do. So we'll get that one there. That's the one that went off. It doesn't have as much pull. Like if you can see that tapping, like I can hold that quite easy there, even though it's small. This one here doesn't sound off. It really wants to pull hard on. I mean, so that's how you can tell it's got a lot of iron in the cores. So you really want to go for iron cores. Even this will stick like crazy. I mean, that's really sticking hard. Such a tiny little core. But you can experiment around with that stuff. But doing it with measuring the inductance. You can also hook it up on a frequency generator, make a transformer, make a primary few winds on it, secondary few winds, put it on signal generator, put it on the oscilloscope, and you can wind up the frequency and see if it still acts as a transformer up in the high frequencies. If it does, it's usually ferrite. If it only does it in the low frequencies, it's usually iron. The other way of doing it too, same thing, but you put a test piece of wire, hope my voice doesn't disappear, out of your signal generator, and just on one leg, the positive, I suppose, or the inner part of the cable, and you've got to unclip it, and you put a ferrite on there and clip it back on, and have a look at the loss of signal at a given frequency on your oscilloscope to see what frequency range that ferrite or iron powder operates over. So like if you had iron powder on there, it's going to have a lot of attenuation at low frequencies. As you wind the frequency up, it'll become more and more non-existent, and it'll let a lot more noise through. We do it with ferrite, it'll be the opposite way around. But these things are graded in frequency windows, like there. Just experiment. I know what's what, but you know, if you want to do it. So that, nothing. I think we're pushing the limit here a bit. Yeah, we'll make a stack, and I'll use my stick here, 0.05. No effect whatsoever on the depth. So you can fill it up with ferrites in there. Sorry, iron powder. Stupid me. Dear me. Yep, still at 6. So it doesn't have any effect whatsoever. And if we get this thing here, and we say, oh well, let's make a coil with that in there. Okay, we'll put 2 of them in there or whatever. Not getting it really well at 6 anymore, is it? We'll put in the middle of the core, like some of these got 2 of them in there. Yeah, about 5.5 or so. But the trouble is what happens when the hot rock comes along. Near the core itself. Let's see if we can ground balance it out. Okay, I'll push the button on the detector. Get in here quick. Can't actually get rid of it all. Whoops. These things. So, like I say, if you want your detector to track properly, put the right material in the core design. There goes my voice. You know, very high permeability. Look at that there. That's permeability of 9,500. It's half of a pot core, but it's not too bad. It's extremely high. That's ridiculously high. The others aren't that high. They're all probably 1,500 or 2,500, something like that. But you can experiment. Don't put the wrong grade of ferrite in your coils when you make them. And the other thing also, if you put the wrong type of ferrite in, losing my voice, I'm talking too much. If you put the wrong grade in and you're running a fairly amount of high power, basically square waves, you can cause signal distortion, right? And it can also generate harmonics. Believe it or not, ferrite cores treated wrongly can generate harmonics. You'll probably not get that with iron powder because they're so damn hard to saturate. But you can get non-linearities with ferrite. It's probably gone over everyone's head, but I know, look, some of the guys, I keep saying, some of the guys out there, they get into the technical side of this. They want to know how to do it. This is how you do it. This is how you make a really, really good coil. Now, like I say, this is like, look, I'm tilting the coil near all those, but what I was going to say is that even though I've got this flat out and everything, my Faraday shield is fine as long as I don't wiggle it because it'll move in relation to every metal object in the room. But, you know, there's no sound. It's properly Faraday shielded. So there's no noise from that whatsoever. There's a little bit of blurble coming in, burble, whatever, comes in, and you can hear it. So yeah, there you go. I can touch all that. Normally, if you're going to get a coil to sound off, put your hands right across it or like that, because you're causing a partial conduction path. Just through the salt and moisture in your skin, you're a bit conductive. If you weren't, you'd be dead. So, you know, if you really want to test it, do that with your coils. And as you can see, it doesn't care less. So, like I say, I've got this thing cranked up. Like I can crank it back into top notch manual, just like that. And there's your noise, you know. Not that you want to hear that. I could probably do a channel scan or whatever, frequency scan. It's probably a better word. About the same, just runs off in the noise. So I'd rather just crank it up one notch. So and I'll give it a bit of a tune too. We'll see what happens. There we go. We'll see what it does, see if it gets any quieter. But like I say, this is a modified detector. This is one that I've done a lot of work on the insides of. And I still want to get out there and do a test. Dave wants to come around and pick these up soon. So I do want to get out and give them a run. Anyway, that's how quiet it is after doing the reset there. Very nice indeed. So I hope that gives everyone an education. Even in your normal pulse detectors like your SDs and your GPs, your 4500s, 5000s, all those. If you want to make a better coil, get an iron powder core sleeve and stick it over all the joints. Believe me, it will make detecting a lot more enjoyable. It'll get rid of a lot of noise. But make sure, don't use ferrite, use iron powder. And check it on your coil, turn your detector on and bounce it on your coil, make sure it doesn't sound off. If it don't sound off, stick it on and anchor it securely. Pump bloody some hot melt glue or even silicon just inside the core. Don't go smear it everywhere, but just inside, like, just like on that, if I had that and the wire going through it, I'd just fill it up with silicon, leave it there. But they are not particularly, long enough this way in length, and it's also too large in diameter for the job. You don't need anything. That's just overkill. You need the tiny, tiny little things in your detectors, in your coils. So, yeah, and this too, near all the dongle stuff, yeah, it's interacting with that inductor. That inductor there, I am convinced that I might just bypass that. I might. I need to have a look at the waveforms and that. So I have to sit in front of the bench and stuff, and it'd be very difficult to video it all. But I could give you the results later on. But if we put ferrite near that, same effect. So it is reactive. What about a hot rock near it? Less so. But any inductor, which is just coils of wire, it's not fully shielded. Now it's got a some sort of ferrite encasing around the wire, but usually doesn't cut the mustard. It's not usually thick enough to cut out stray fields, so that's why we're getting interaction with that. That might need to go, or the other thing is I could probably actually, I just want to have a look at it. I might be able to put that inside a particular core that is a particular type of iron powder type core, where I can just have no reaction on this and do it that way. So, you want to keep your noise out your system. You don't want it to be touch sensitive. Like if I touch around there, it'll probably go off like a banshee, will it? I think I just got 200 volts in the finger. Yeah, I went right across the inductor. Don't do things like that on pulse induction detectors. But yeah, you can't touch anything there. It could become touch sensitive. Like the way I've got this thing grounded and earthed and everything the way I did it, there's no effect. See, I'm actually moving the wire. That's why you're getting the noise, but it's not going off me touching it. Doesn't care. Well, look, there you go. It's still wiggling. I can't stop it wiggling, but I get right in here on the wires. It's not going to do much at all. So you're not going to have any touch sensitive issues when you do it all properly. Now, this has been a good exercise doing this because I learnt more things that why things are done a particular way, and yeah, I'll just go to do a little bit more R&D measurements, and I'll end up tabulating the whole lot, and yeah, we can make our own coils for these things. This is look, it's a really good coil. I designed it to be a really good coil, and they're sensitive as hell, and they don't react to anything. They're really good, but that is not the best coil. If I have to run the figure 8 in here because of the noise issues, right? Because these haven't got cancel mode, which is a bit of a problem. So you make your own cancel coil. Thus, you can now work on detectors in the workshop and get an idea of how sensitive they are and what they're doing. But coils like that there, ooh, that's the trouble. Coils near coils interact. Watch this. I'm way over here. It's like, there you go, between the camera and the coil, miles away. I'm right near the camera. See? You gotta be careful when you leave coils near other coils in your workshop because they all talk to each other. They're all resonant, roughly. And one will generate a field, go into the other one, and the other one will have a bit of a time delay and then collapse the field. No damping resistors on these. And it'll sing into the detector. So you gotta be careful, I'm right up in the air over it, and it just couples like crazy. So I've got some more on the ground down here, and they're probably doing the same. Yep, they are. I just moved them. So these are your noise sources, other coils coupling in. So yeah, no, I've moved them. It's a little bit different now, isn't it? So I hope that explains a lot of how to and make these um, coils and detectors behave the way you want, not what you get served up. So with dongled coils, you got to cop what you've been given. Eat your Brussels sprouts. Don't complain. Eat your Brussels sprouts. Well, it's one way of looking at it, isn't it? No, no, no. But I want Scotch fillet steak. Well, I'll make my own or get my own. Yeah, good, do it. So yeah, it just goes to show that all you need to do is just, like I say, smack open an old coil you hate, you don't like using. Um, Jeff out there said in an email that you can use the double D dongle on a mono, but he said it was a bit touchy. Okay, so if you have it, look, I don't know what touchy might mean. That it is actually touchy and it's trying to energize an extra channel in the detector or something. I don't know. The whole thing's full of black blob modules, so I wouldn't know. You can't measure it. I can't anyway. And basically, maybe it could be a earthing grounding issue. It could be anything. I don't know. Maybe it. Jeff, I'll mention this. When you did do that, I'm just wondering, do you need to do that? No, you don't. Oh, sorry, I was thinking right off tangent. I'm thinking of damping, but it's already, you must have connected in on that channel, so on the mono input. So obviously it doesn't switch the mono receive input out if you can make it work with a double D dongle. So like I say, there's a lot more work to do on all this stuff. I haven't got a double D, so I don't know. But yeah, and if I turn this detector here right down, there it is there. Oops. Yeah, this is one that AA's put a speaker on the front of it here. He's run a wire from the speaker, goes in under there, and yeah, he's put a speaker in the back of the head unit so you can actually hear the detector when you're using it, which I think is a good idea. But like I say, it's a lot of work doing that. There's a speaker there and there's a speaker here as well. I think that might be his don't tell anybody. So I didn't tell you that, but it's just there anyway. It's on the bench and I had to test it. So yeah. Anyway, I'll crank this thing right down for you. Okay. How's that? You crank it down, it gets a little bit noisier. Work that one out. Probably coincidental. Who knows? No, I don't know. No, it's probably, I know what it is. I've turned the camera towards it, haven't I? Maybe not. I don't know. I think that's coincidental. Turn it up again. Yeah. Noise comes up when I go up. Go down. Change the ground mode. Yeah. No, it doesn't make much difference. But anyway, that's all working like a champ. And turn him off. So guys, now I can pick things up and actually show you probably a little bit better. The only reason I've got that there because it's full of cement, glue, and it stops the coil sliding off into the abyss. So that's, yeah, like I say, have a look at the shape of that. Like I say, I didn't bend it perfect. It's probably more of a circle there, but it's a bit skewed there at the other side. But like I say, these coils I make are flexible. So what it really needs is a bit of a kick that way, like so, and that dropped down a little bit. But like I say, yeah, probably needs a couple of plastic rods or fiberglass rods across it to hold it in perfect shape. When you get these things absolutely perfect and have the feed right in the middle here, they're very, very quiet, beautifully quiet. So, and you can go prospecting with a coil like that too. It'll pick up in here and it'll pick up in there. So but the thing is, because it's all the interference is coming into here, and one is flipped like so, when it goes in the detector, it makes all the noise go away. Okay, all the EMI interference and stuff, and you'll still hear targets in there or there. So you just got to keep your wits about you where you're picking it up. It's probably much the same as, in my opinion, using the 7000, where you get two signals. Blip, 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 blip. You get the same thing with this. And where you get blip, blip, you just bang. That's where the middle is. That's where you dig, because you've got a blip here and a blip there. So just visualize it in your eye when you're looking down and say that's where the target is. Same as you do on a 7, because you've got the two blips. They'll give you two blips as well. On a bigger target, it just won't give you two blips. It'll give you one blip, but you got to remember with cancel coils, on really big targets with a small cancel type coil, it will start cancelling out a bigger target because the energy is coming up equally on both coils. That's why when we make the big ones of these, for all the people who use drag, they want to drag them out in the bush and that, we make huge ones. So there's no way known that you're going to cancel out a signal even 10 feet down, because that can't radiate into the other side of the coil with any great efficiency. So yeah, just remember that small figure eights are really good for very close targets. Where, I don't know, down to here, something or other, something like that, maybe more, because when you start going down, you start getting diminishing returns with the return signal going into the other side as well. So you will get some cancellation. It's how it works. Like radio waves coming in don't just come here or there. They hit the whole thing. Thus you get that cancellation effect. So if you know what you're doing, you can do really well. Anyway, it's enough waffle. Don't know how many people look at these videos on the weekend, because you all should be out there prospecting. But it's sometimes the only time I get to do videos, or late at night. So I've just snuck this one in. Anyway, hope you all learnt something from that. You can all make your own coils. Not hard. It's really not hard. Anyway, catch us.